I'm Cordelia Sullivan, Supervisor of Special Education, Secondary Programs. I'll be talking to you about Research and Data, Module 4. As early as 1925, Dr. Orton noted a similarity between an intelligent 16-year-old boy's inability to learn to read and a stroke patient's difficulty when the ability to read has been lost. He identified the syndrome of developmental reading disability, separated it from mental defect and brain damage, and offered a physiological explanation with a favorable prognosis. Orton's lifetime research into this problem eventually led to his association with Anna Gillingham, who pioneered what is called the Orton-Gillingham approach to teaching language. The original manual, published in 1935, is in its 7th edition. The care with which this approach has been taught and revised, without sacrificing any of the important basic tenets, is evident in the dedication of teachers and tutors who have experienced its effectiveness. Dyslexia affects all facets of one's life. As many as 15 to 20% of the population as a whole have some of the symptoms of dyslexia, including slow or inaccurate reading, poor spelling, poor writing, or mixing up similar words. Not all will qualify for special education, but they are likely to struggle with many aspects of academic learning, and they are likely to benefit from systematic, explicit instruction in reading, writing, and language. More than 20% of adults read at or below a 5th grade level, far below the level needed to earn a living wage. 8 to 10% of children receiving special education services have language-based disorder, which results in deficits in reading, writing, and/or spelling. More than 3 out of 4 of those on welfare, 85% of unwed mothers, and 68% of those arrested can't read well. The same is true for 3 out of 5 of America's prison inmates. Dyslexia occurs in people of all backgrounds and intellectual levels. People with dyslexia can be very bright. They are often capable or even gifted in areas such as art, computer science, design, drama, electronics, math, etc. Dyslexia runs in families. Parents with dyslexia are very likely to have children with dyslexia. For some people, that dyslexia is identified early in their lives, but for others, their dyslexia goes unidentified until they get older. People with dyslexia can also have problems with spoken language, even after they've been exposed to good language models in their homes and good language instruction in school. They may find it difficult to express themselves clearly or to fully comprehend what others mean when they speak. Such language problems are often difficult to recognize, but they can lead to major problems in school, in the workplace, and in relating to other people. As mentioned before, the effects of dyslexia reach well beyond the classroom. Dyslexia can affect a person's self-image. Students with dyslexia often end up feeling dumb and less capable than they actually are. After experiencing a great deal of stress due to academic problems, as you may expect, a student may become discouraged about continuing school. The definition of dyslexia that has been established scientifically and used for over a century states that dyslexia is an unexpected difficulty in reading, unexpected in relation to intelligence, age, grade level, education, and professional status. But empirical data proving it has been lacking. Finally, in 2010, a study published in the Psychological Science provides empirical scientific evidence to support that dyslexia is an unexpected difficulty in reading in children who otherwise have the intelligence to learn to read. As shown in the figure, scientific evidence now provides empirical support for the unexpected nature of dyslexia. The left panel shows the relationship between IQ and reading in typical readers. IQ and reading both track together. They are dynamically linked. In contrast, the right panel shows the relationship between IQ and reading in children with dyslexia. Here, IQ and reading go their own separate ways. In practical terms, these data provide strong evidence that in dyslexia, a person can have a high IQ and yet read at much lower level. Although a number of dyslexia theories have been proposed, a strong consensus now supports the phenological theory, which recognizes that speech is natural, while reading is acquired and must be taught. In order to read, a child must acquire the alphabetical principle, the insight that spoken words can be pulled apart into small particles of speech, and that the letters in a written word represent these sounds. Results from large and well-studied populations confirms that a deficit in phonology represents the most robust and specific attribute of dyslexia. Such findings form the basis for the most successful and evidence-based interventions designed to improve reading. Now, researchers not only know that dyslexia is born of biology, but they also are getting closer to confirming the key brain areas that are affected. New insights will help pinpoint therapies and improve treatment. Here you see the MRI of two brains showing the key brain areas of two people when reading, the non-impaired on the left and the impaired on the right. Another image of the brain of two people when reading, non-impaired and impaired. Notice the difference of the brain activity in the non-impaired versus the impaired. New advances in research are leading to early diagnosis and treatment of dyslexia, fine-tuning of therapies, and a better understanding of the nature of dyslexia. In conclusion, while early intervention is the best way to help students get on track with their reading and writing, it is never too late to help older students and adults make progress and succeed. With proper screening tools and appropriate instruction and accommodations, adolescents and adults can achieve their goals too and make their own unique contributions to the workforce and society.